April 15th is right around the corner. It's almost time to file taxes. If you're going through a divorce, a question that often comes up is, how do I file my taxes? And that's what we're going to talk about. My name is Heather O'Connor, and I am the CEO and founder of O'Connor Family Law. If you're going through a divorce, but you are not yet divorced, you have basically two options on how to file, and that is jointly or married filing separately. Depending on how you filed your taxes during your marriage, it might be an easy choice for you. But until that day that your divorce has entered as a final judgment, you cannot file individually. So typically, the two spouses will talk between each other or even have a tax accountant step in and run taxes in different ways to see what benefits the two of them the most when filing. Oftentimes, you'll find that the answer is to file your taxes jointly still. Then it's just a matter of how are you dividing any refund that you get, or how are you dividing anything that's still due. Now, the thing is that you cannot force somebody to file jointly. So if somebody's refusing to provide you with their information or refusing to cooperate with your accountant, then you can go ahead and file married filing separately. However, a couple things to think about before you make that decision is that in Massachusetts, if a joint return would get the best refund or the minimal amount of taxes that the two of you would have to pay out, the court can actually penalize you for not allowing that to move forward and can give the other side that additional amount later on within that final distribution. But sometimes throughout the divorce process, you've found out that your spouse might not be the most honest person with their taxes or their reporting. So you want to draw that line and not have anything to do with that. And that's perfectly okay. And typically, if you explain that to the court, they would understand that. Now, another issue that comes up when people are going through a divorce is who gets to claim the children. If you're filing jointly, obviously the kids are going to be on your joint return. That's easy. That's nothing to fight about. The issue comes that if the two of you are filing separately, and typically you have to have some sort of agreement, but if you don't, sometimes it's just a rush to whoever files their taxes first. And then if the IRS doesn't agree that the person who filed first is the one who should be claiming the children, the IRS can actually step in and change things. So it's probably better to make sure you're doing it correct rather than have the IRS fix it for you. Now, oftentimes, if you have two kids, it's pretty simple. One parent claims one child, the other parent claims the other child. If you have one child or an uneven number of children, then usually you alternate years. Typically, what I see happen is in 1 year, parent A will claim 2 kids and parent B will claim 1, and then they just switch that the next year and they keep going back and forth. Now, I've seen situations where alternating years, parents claim all of the children, and then the next year, the other one claims all the children. It's really up to you and what you agree upon. I recommend having everything that you agree upon in writing. That way, if anybody ever comes back, like the IRS, you have something in writing saying that this is what we agreed to. Now, there are a bunch of tax laws in regard to what happens if you don't agree and how does the IRS decide who the primary parent is. And there's tests for that. I'm not going to get into it, but definitely speak to your lawyer about it. And if you don't have anyone who actually is your tax advisor, make sure you get somebody on your team to discuss the pros and cons of every decision that you're going to make and how that affects you individually. So I hope that was helpful. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We are O'Connor Family Law, and we are here to help you. Again, I'm Heather O'Connor, and I hope you have a great day.